a bit late today, and I'm going to need some feedback from everybody. Hopefully, everything is going to be happening. I can't really see whether or not I am on. Telling me that I am live, but I can't see whether I'm live or not. So I'm testing that as we speak. And we'll get the kinks out. Hopefully, I thought that I would be able to do this pretty easily, but then now it just seems to defy my expectations. So I'm not sure exactly what's happening, and I'm not sure if I'm on, and I'm not sure about anything. There's so much uncertainty at this point; it's ridiculous. So I may have to do this with my phone, which is not great because I can't seem to get. Oh, there you go. I'm live on Twitter. I can't tell whether I'm live on Facebook, though. So, yeah, so at least there you go. Yeah, I'm in like the worst office in Meredith's office space. There's like nothing in here. Like the person who was working here moved out. And I can't, I can't help it. Maybe I'll figure out how to put some decor up. That's what I'm going to do. I think I'll make a sign or something, and we'll have a sign up that will that I can change out or something while I'm here. And my camera angle is terrible. Everything is terrible. It's just terrible. But I am dressed up. So you guys will at least get to see me dressed up, I guess. I'm not sure. Did they take away red stapler too? Yeah, there is no red stapler. There's this decrepit gray stapler that was left here by the previous tenant, I suppose. And there's a hole punch. But yeah, since I was coming to the office, I figured I better wear something a little more office friendly, and so there you go. Yeah, at least I'm not echoing. Well, I've got like a whole different setup here. So I've got like a camera that is up above me right here that I did bring with me, and my tripod, and I've got my snowball microphone, and I've got all the things that I would try to get, and then I completely so I don't have an impressive story as to why I was late coming on today. The story is I was confused about the time, and I thought, okay, I think I have time, and I needed to run and get breakfast stuff, but I underestimated, first of all, how far the freaking Starbucks was. I forgot how far the Starbucks is away from here. They don't have Starbucks like at every corner like we do in Austin. There's like one in the area around here, and so of course the line was at the yin yang, and ordering and then trying to get back, and then I thought I would make it, but then I started having all these technical problems, and so there you go. That's where I'm at right now. Is my technical issues have astounded me. But yeah, so echoing due to an empty office. Yeah, it's not terrible. I mean, with a little bit of like, I need some plants. I need a photo. I wish I could do wallpaper on this. I would just do. I don't have the ability to do wallpaper on Restream. I could do it through Zoom. I guess I could probably figure out how to stream my stuff to Zoom, but through Zoom, but I don't want to do that. I don't need any more stress in my life, man. So anyway, I am in Florida, and I will tell you a little bit of my flight and my stuff, because those are all interesting. Is to be able to travel and to do it safely and all that kind of stuff is, it's not easy, but they're making it easier. Southwest Airlines makes it super easy to be able to travel and to do it safely. Oh, you don't have to touch anything. I mean, they have those, they come in with those sprayers that like kill everything, and they spray all the seats, they clean everything out, and they spray everything. And then I just don't touch anything. And there's no one sitting, next to you. So you've got, the closest is like, like 4 feet away or something like that. And everybody leans away from one another. And you wear your mask the whole time unless you're eating something or getting a drink. And I did very little of that. And hand sanitizer, just like keeping that going. The airport, I mean, you can literally get through the airport and not touch anything. I mean, you don't have to touch a single thing. You can just kind of navigate your way through, and touch only your stuff. Of course, as I was going through, so this is what I did. My wife Meredith is famous for, she ran out of gas. You saw the video where she ran out of gas and did her video on the side of the road, which that's a common occurrence. But we're famous for like leaving her phone. She's doing a lot better. There was a famous incident where her flight left at like 9:30. I mean, like the boarding was 9:30 or like the last thing, so it was 9:30. I dropped her off at the airport at like 10 till 9. And I got home. It was a little bit later that. So I got home, but I kept getting all these weird phone calls on my phone, and I was like, I don't answer. If I don't know who it is, I don't answer the phone. I'm sure many of y'all are the same way, right? So if you don't know who it is, you're not going to answer the phone. And so I wasn't answering. So I finally got to my house from the airport, and I get a text from that number saying, "This is Meredith, please answer your phone." She had left her phone at the house and needed it, So at any rate, she said, "Could you get back here to the airport before they keep me from getting on?" So she needed me to be back like in, like 15 minutes. So I got to the airport in 14 minutes from my house, which is off of Davis, near Mills Elementary School. Okay. So I'm going to tell you guys this just because, it's a confession. But I may or may not have been going 100 miles an hour down Mopac or down 290. And here's what happened. There was a guy in front of me that took offense, I guess, because I was trying to get around him, and he decided he didn't want to be passed, and so he took off. And I was like, "Oh, great, this guy's speeding. I'll follow him," because that's the logic that you use, right? The logic you use is someone else is speeding. I will probably not get caught. So at one point I looked down. I mean, I wasn't even paying attention because I was so intent on getting her phone to her. I was so intent on getting there that I wasn't paying attention to how fast I was going. And I looked down and it was miles an hour. So I backed off. So even in Texas, that's fast because, Texas has some pretty crazy speed limits in some areas where you can just like motor, you can just like boogie down the road. And so anyway, I got there in 14 minutes. It was crazy. Okay. Now that was with some traffic and, people were out doing things, and it was like a weeknight or something like that. But anyway, yesterday, cause I'm a planner, I like to get everything. I don't like to be stressed. I don't like to be panicky, which is why today was I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that. I'm all messed up. I'm not on time. And I hate feeling like frazzled like that. I want to be ahead of the game. And so I got to the airport yesterday. I got there like 5, boarded at 6:30. It left at 6:50. I was like, I got plenty of time. There's no one at the airport. I'm going to go through security. Everything is great. I'm going to be able to go to Salt Lick and get something to eat because I hadn't eaten supper. And I was all happy. I get out and I'm doing all my inventory, pulling everything, and I realize I do not have my phone. My phone was plugged in on my desk. So I tell my dad, I'm like, all right, because my dad drove me. I was like, all right, you better strap in, man, because this is going to be a quick trip. And I was like, I'm like T minus. I got to get back, but I got to get back here by 6:20, and it's like 10 to 5 now. No, it was a 4:45. No, you know. So anyway, so I'm like, I got to get back here. I got to be back at 6:20. So anyway, I made it back. Got my phone, and then I was looking at my watch. I needed to be. It was like, I don't know. Anyway, bottom line, I got back there at 15 minutes. So 15 minutes from my house to the airport, and I wasn't going 100 miles an hour. I was just driving like maybe 80 or something like that. But I was doing like a lot of I think I took a year off of my dad's life, which he can't afford, quite honestly. And so, but I was like, and the funny thing is I'm like driving and I'm like, you know, moving around and doing stuff. And I'm also talking to him at the same time. I'm telling him all kinds of stuff that's going to need to happen this week, you know, because I'm going to be gone and the kids and this and that and blah, 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 blah. And he was like, I could just see him, man. He's just hanging on, like praying. Oh man. And I thought to myself, I'm like, Meredith left her phone and did all that. I didn't yell at her. I didn't get upset. I didn't get whatever. I just said, okay. And I went and got it and got in the car, you know, because I'd gotten used to that. But it's always the narrative that she leaves everything. You know, my son Jay is the same way. Leaves everything everywhere. And so they're both two peas in a pod. But I'm never the one that does it. So when it happens, it's like a momentous occasion. I have yet to tell her about it. Oh, actually, I did. I did tell her about it. She was really cool about it. She didn't say, "Oh, so it happened to you." She was really, really cool about it. So kudos to her. So yeah, I am in Florida right now, which seems insane. You know, I'm like people. So I have friends that ask me like, why would you go to Florida? I live in Texas, which is also on the black list by travel to. So if you try to, I think Chicago has Texas on their list, but also Florida on their list. So if you come back, like if you travel back into Chicago, you're supposed to quarantine for 2 weeks. The same is true for New York City and some of the other bigger cities up in the north. Although now all of them are having spikes again. Everybody's having spikes. It's just going to keep happening, y'all. It's going to keep happening until more and more and more people get it. Unfortunately, one of our members works for the Texas Department of Health, Stephen Pont. So early on, I was asking him, you know, like, well, what is all this looking like? Like, where are we headed? And he said at some point, almost everybody's going to get it, you know, in some capacity, you know, because it's just the way that it works. You know, it's just like the flu. I mean, everybody gets the flu at some point. So, you know, the vaccines help, all that stuff's going to help. And so that'll be good. But you know, so in terms of getting it, I mean, having vaccines against it are going to be the thing. But, you know, I feel like it's going to be just like the flu. There's going to be a yearly vaccine that you'll have to get, you know, against it, you know, when it's that time of year. But we'll get there, you know. We have beaten back worse things, right? I mean, there are worse things. I mean, we were able to beat back the Spanish flu, which killed millions and millions and millions of people, not just, 140,000 or whatever. I mean, which is a terrible amount of people, But, you know, we've gotten great technology now. Back then, you know, you got it. You pretty much, you know, you died. Either you got over it or you died. Well, that is the options for anything, right? You know, it's like, but I mean, they just kind of were like, you know, you're on your own, pal. You know, like we'll make you comfortable and you can sit in your bed and we'll see what happens to you. You know, so so millions of people around the world, including the United States, millions of people in the United States contracted it. You know, hundreds and hundreds of thousands. You know, I don't know what the numbers were, but it was a lot of people. that died of the Spanish flu. We beat that back. We've beaten back. We found vaccinations for polio. We've been able to treat all kinds of diseases. I mean, we will get there. It's going to happen, and it'll be a lot better. Okay. My trip to was like a typical Florida man type of story. No, it was a Florida story. It was jorts. Jorts and some sort of altercation outside of a trailer between siblings or siblings who were married or something. I don't know. Yeah, that is a stressful story. Next time it says being used at Einstein Express, before it absolutely positively has to be there the day before yesterday. That's fantastic. Opening a business of renting phones and you have all your calls forwarded to the number so you can grab and go. That's not a bad idea, That's not a bad idea. Okay. So let me tell you guys what's going on this week. First of all, the first order of business that I have is to find something to go behind me. Yeah, Lucy, you are so right. You were so right. This has been coming. I mean, look at the movies, right? The movies that were that had been out, like Contagion. That movie had been out. I mean, almost to a T. I mean, they even had it like starting in like the Wuhan marketplace, right, with bats and stuff. And I mean, it was like it was like right down to the thing. I mean, it was pretty crazy. And then there's another. There's a TV series that's coming out that I think has John Cusack and it was filmed way before all this happened, and it's about this kind of thing too. So all of those kind of things, people have been thinking about it. People have been predicting that something like this was going to happen at some point, and sure enough, it did. So yeah, you definitely had a baby alligator doing. Baby alligators, man. Yes. Okay, so here's what's going on this week. I'm going to be here. I'm going to make sure I get something for this. This has got to change. I don't care what it is. I think I have some ideas. I'm going to try to make it as horrible as possible. Okay, so does that work for everybody? So I'm going to try to do something where this. I can make that work. All right. So anyway, that's gonna be doing most of my work and everything from here. So I'll be in this office for almost all of the things I'm going to be doing during the week. So that'll be staff meetings, pastoral care meetings, any other kind of meetings that I have with people. I'm going to be doing from this office. So y'all will have to get used to that. For a week. And sure, when I'm coming back on Friday, I've got my tickets yet. There was originally plans to do other things. And so anyway, that's not happening. But my kids are coming down next week. And I think my dad might actually next week be going out of town too. So there will be a moment in time where for maybe like 4 or 5 days, I will be completely by myself. It'll be like a risky business kind of moment. I like running through the house, like just take those old records off the shelf. Oh man, we might have to do a whole bunch of Home Alone trivia that week. Although no, next week is football week, not this week. This week we're gonna do Florida movies. How about that? Movies set in Florida. And today, I'm going to have one that is a classic movie. We got, hey, there's Lee. There's my friend Lee. A Welsh flag would be awesome. Loving the Welsh today. And she's probably not watching, but happy birthday to my friend Amy Matthias. who is celebrating her birthday in Wales today. And so Lee, thanks for being on here, and say hello to Joy for me as well. But yeah, let's think about that. So anyway, I'll be here. I got sidetracked. So I'm going to be here, but I'm going to do everything from here. The only thing I think it won't be on this week is the Zoom call for the conversations on racial injustice. So, but that's going to happen on Wednesday. We'll still have one of the classes, and that'll be happening at 7 p.m. Central Time. And you are all welcome to join and include, make sure that you tell folks about it. If there's somebody that you think needs to be a part of those conversations, let them know. I'm going to be preaching this coming Sunday, so I'm super excited about it. I have a new sermon series called Indescribable. I'm going to be talking about the creative sort of aspect of God. The sort of how limitless God's creativity is, and how we have been called to be co-creators with God. That's why, we have, be creative. And some of you say, well, I'm not creative, but you are in lots of different ways. There's lots of ways to express your creativity. It is part of who you are. It's part of what God has called us to do. So we're going to be talking about the sort of indescribable creativity of God, which is really a little bit of a break. I think that the sermons will, our context, continue to reflect some of the things that are going on right now. But we need to. It would be nice just to focus on something kind of positive. Not that we're positive, but what I'm saying. To do something a little different, and to talk about creativity is super interesting to me. And so anyway, I'm going to be preaching on Genesis 1. And I've got some cool stuff that I'm going to share. I'm really excited about it. So I'm going to be working on that sermon this week as well. And that's going to be fun. That'll be happening on Sunday at 9:30 a.m. Central Time. I hope that y'all be there. And y'all are going to get a little bit of a preview. Here's what we're doing. This week, an email is going to come out today, as a matter of fact. I got to remind Stephen to do it. But we're going to be asking all of our church members who have dogs if they would do a greeting video with their dog. So like a video, just introducing themselves, introducing their dog, saying hello to the church. So we're going to do that this week. And so we'll have a greeting video with everybody and their dogs. And then I'm compelled to also do a cat video. Because if I don't, then like all the people are going to be ticked, and I'll have like a divide, and stuff. So then the following week, we'll do everyone and their cats, and that's it. I'm not going to do people with their lizard or their tortoise or their fish or whatever the hell. I'm like dogs and cats. That's where we draw the line. I guess we could wait for a while and maybe do like, you and your unusual pet. If we run out of stuff to talk about, right? The important question is, where's Elway? So Elway is wherever Meredith is. So right now, I think Meredith might be in the conference room here at her office, and Elway will be in the conference room. So Elway stays with Meredith. She is able to travel with him because he is a certified and trained emotional support animal, and he continues to get training and continues to get stuff. So he's got his little vest. He's got his little thing. He's actually a legit thing. But he travels with her to Florida every time that she comes, just so that he could be here with her. Although he was not happy with me last night. So, up, and of course her bed is a queen size bed. We have a king size bed at home, and her bed's a queen size bed here. And when Papa Bear's home, when Papa Bear, I'm a big guy, man, and I don't like taking up any of my room. So off he went to his bed, and he was not thrilled. red and like, you know, like huffing and puffing as he was like trying to. But anyway, I was having a little bit of a glitch, so hopefully you guys were able to not have some continuity. So hopefully that's okay. Okay, so I'm gonna do a little movie trivia, and I don't have any images. I don't have anything to show, but at any rate, this movie that we're gonna do the trivia on is. Let me see. Let me take a look at the year on this video, on this movie. The year of this movie was 1946. 1946. So we're throwing back. Okay. Are you guys able to hear me at all? All right. Can you guys see me now? Can now? Hopefully. So, okay, here you find, at this point, it looks like the camera is back up. Okay, good. All right. Okay, so sorry about that. I'm working all my technology stuff out, and I don't like this at all. I don't like not being in my space and having stuff, but I'm going to figure this out because that's the only way I'm going to be able to do that this week. So I'll make sure that we're working hard on this. Perhaps I need to be on a better internet connection, so I'll resolve that later. Okay, so the movie that we're going to be talking about right now is from 1946. Okay, so it's a classic movie. It's a classic movie. And it's based on a book that I think in one. Yes. The book that this movie was based on won the Pulitzer Prize for fiction in the year that it was written, which was not 1946, 1938. And so this particular movie was set in a part of Florida called Cross Creek. Cross Creek. And the movie was like a heart-wrenching kind of movie. It was one of those movies that, just got you right in the gut. And it starred, if I'm not mistaken, it starred Gregory Peck, who is a Civil War veteran. So that's how long ago this was set, right? He is working on a farm in Florida with his wife. So this was set in the town of Cross Creek. Wow. Somebody already got it. The Yearling. Marjorie Kinnan Rawlings was the person who wrote that. It won the Pulitzer Prize for fiction in 1938. And was then subsequently made into the movie in 1946. And Cross Creek, you can visit it. It's like a nature preserve now. And there's museums and stuff that talk about the people who lived there and like kind of the novel and about Marjorie Kinnan Rawlings and her time there as well. So yeah, Cross Creek is where that's located, and The Yearling is set there. And one of those really heart-wrenching sort of movies and stories. I remember seeing it when I was a kid and crying, Old Yeller is one of those movies like that, like Old Yeller is like, I just was crushed as a kid when I saw that movie, and I know my parents, like we watched it, and then I remember my mom saying something to my dad, like, "Are you sure you want him to watch this movie?" And then when I was crying, but then it has a happy ending, so that's all good. All right, cool. So let us now go to the Daily Devo, which is why we're here. Really, we're here to gather. We're here to be with one another, and the Daily Devo is but it is not the only reason why we gather. Okay, so today was kind of an esoteric sort of in a lot of ways, but I just decided to do a little bit of a word study. And so let me just kind of roll through this. It's called gut feelings. Bishop Desmond Tutu once wrote about the importance of having compassion for others, even those who are difficult to forgive and to show mercy to. He wrote, when we are uncaring, when we lack compassion, when we are unforgiving, we will always pay the price for it. It is not, however, we alone who suffer. Our whole community suffers, and ultimately our whole world suffers. Let me put that into the comments so you guys can see it. Boom. Yes. So I got to thinking about this and I realized something. It's in our very nature to default to compassion. We just deny it. I don't often do word studies here, but I was reading Jürgen Moltmann's latest book, The Spirit of Hope. And in the course of his exploration of the concepts of compassion, he discussed the Hebrew word I'll try to pronounce it correctly, rachamim. To put it bluntly, rachamim is a compassion that goes so deep that the intestines tense up. Okay, so that's kind of the meaning of the word. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, that's kind of weird. So let me explain. The noun rachamim is feminine and points to the pain a mother feels at birth, the pains with which a new life is brought into the world. Jürgen Moltmann puts it like this. Rachamim is a feeling of being caught up by empathy and compassion, the creative feeling with which a new deed begins and a life is saved or comes to birth. So let me throw this into the comments as well. This word isn't the only word that is used to denote compassion in the Hebrew scriptures, but it is used 44 times in what we always denotes the kind of compassion that God has toward you and me, and that we ought to have for those who are in need. Not to be outdone, the New Testament writers took the concept of rachamim when they wrote about compassion using the word splagnizomai, which is Greek, right? Which means I'm gonna put this because you won't believe it. All right. So, the word, first of all, the word is splagnizomai. Okay. It's easily one of my favorite Greek words for so many reasons, right? It's just one of those words that has like all of this intimate sort of meaning that is below the surface. So if you just translate it compassion, it doesn't really get there, it doesn't get to the heart of the meaning. And so the Hebrew writers, the Jewish writers who are writing the Greek New Testament wanted to be able to connect with that Hebrew concept of God bless, I can't even say it, rachamim, right? So rachamim. So they wanted to connect with that concept about it being like in the gut, being in the intestine, so to speak, right? And so this is what it means. Splagnizomai, one's bowels, hence to be moved with compassion or to have compassion. Now, I know the word moved and bowels were really close in that last sentence, okay? And so that may have, we may have sprung a leak here, right? And on the ship that we're sailing on for you. All right, but stick with me. In the ancient world, it was believed that the gut was the seat of mercy and pity. It was in the gut where you would feel the kind of compassion that leads you to mercy, forgiveness, and empathy for others. Matthew 9:36 reads like this. Jesus saw the crowds. He had compassion on them because they were harassed and helpless, like sheep without a shepherd. And I'll put those there. Jesus felt this feeling for the people who came to hear him. He felt compassion for them deep inside of himself. You see, there's a feeling that you feel when you realize that someone is hurting, that someone needs compassion. There's a feeling that comes over you when you realize that forgiveness is the only way forward. There's a feeling that comes over you when you know that there are people who are suffering and you can do something about it. And what do we say when we reflect on that feeling later? We say, I just knew it. I feel it in my gut. You and I are hardwired to feel this way because God imbued us with God's DNA. And this is the way that God feels towards us when we are lost and alone and wounded and struggling and stubborn and hopeless and in need of God. When we lack compassion for those who are suffering, when we lack the willingness to forgive, when we deny our gut feelings because it might be difficult for us to act on them, our very essence, we deny who we really are. So live into your truest self, the imprint of the divine image of God upon you. And when you feel those gut feelings of compassion, mercy, forgiveness, and empathy, don't ignore them because they might lead you to uncomfortable places, and then act on them. It might change the world. May the grace and peace of our Lord Jesus Christ be with you always and forever. All right. So it has been a joy to be on here with you guys to start my day off with all of you and to be able to hang out. And I will make sure that my internet is a little better tomorrow, so I'll work on that. I'm going to work on my backdrop. That's going to be the first order of business. I think I have just the thing. I've just got to go and see if it's still here. The storage is because we had some awful paintings that we used to hang out different places. I'm going to work on that, man, getting that all set up for us. So yeah. Splagnismi sounds like an early example of onomatopoeia. Yeah, some of those Greek words, man, they are so funny to say. You know, it's the Hebrew words are fun too. You know, because you have to do it like with the back of your throat, like you know, you have to get that going to really get the words right. And also, like, my favorite Hebrew word is schlepping, and it's not a Hebrew word actually; it's Yiddish. It's a Yiddish word, schlepping. And that's what my good friend Erez says when we talk about carrying things. We're going to schlep. Speaking of which, we are going to be starting to talk very soon about the Israel trip that's going to happen in May. And trust me, if you've never been to Israel, you will definitely want to be on that trip because it's going to be the place is going to be empty because they're not letting in. You know, there's lots of people that they're not going to be letting in. There's lots of groups and stuff that are not going to happen. You know, so it's going to be like in terms of numbers, it's going to be down. So you're definitely going to want to be there, and we're going to get better deals. I think it's going to be, you know, it'll end up being a better deal overall. So May of 2021, please be aware that I'm going to be promoting it very soon. That's going to be happening probably this week. If not next week, I'm going to start a marketing campaign to get people to go with me to Israel because I am definitely going. I miss it. I miss my friend Erez. I miss being there. I've been going every year now for the past like 5 years, and I was supposed to go twice this year. I was supposed to go in January to do a pastor thing, and then I was going to be doing the one in September. It's just been devastating. That part of it has been grief-filled for me, you know, along with all the other things going on too. So, but at any rate, you all have a wonderful day and be blessed to be a blessing. I'll be back. There'll be better stuff going on behind me. There's going to be better internet. We're going to make this work, people. Florida. But doesn't mean that we can't be with one another. It is not it's going to be as hot as Texas today here. I'm going to see, but I had to double check, but it is definitely a hell of a lot more humid. All right. So today it's going to be 88 degrees. Woo, that's the high. And in Austin, it's going to be 81. And that's because we've had that hurricane that went through. Or that's not 80. That's the way it is right now. I guess that's the temperature right now. So it's not bad. The hurricane came through and kind of took a lot of the humidity away with it. So that's good. All right. Be at peace, people. I will talk to y'all tomorrow morning, and I'll be on time tomorrow. Okay. We'll see you. Have a great day.